Today we are going to make French toast casserole. And it really doesn't require too many ingredients, and it's something that you can make at the beginning of the week and eat all throughout the week for breakfast, or you can just make it on the weekend, whatever you want. We are going to use some of this old bread that we had made earlier this week, but you can use any kind of old bread that's about to go bad. Just leave it out a little bit so it gets stale. This one is definitely stale, so it's perfect for this recipe. So you're just going to cut it into about 1-inch cubes. So you'll see I'm going to cut it right here. This is a little small, doesn't have to be perfect. If you're going to bake it in a large dish like this, go ahead and put the bread in there now. But if you're going to make them individually, which I suggest if you're trying to meal prep for the week, go ahead and put this into a bowl first. But we're going to make ours into a nice loaf. So we're just going to put all of our bread into our greased baking pan here. And I didn't think it was going to be enough, but it looks like it's going to be perfect. And this is basically just bread pudding except for breakfast. So it's an excuse as to why you can eat it for breakfast. And this is how I learned how to make it. So we're going to have our bread to the side there. And then we're going to start mixing our wet ingredients together. So for this amount of bread, we're going to use 3 eggs. Just crack them right into that bowl. So now I'm gonna go in with our milk. This is a good way to kind of change the recipe if you're trying to gain weight or lose weight. If you're gaining weight, let's go with that whole milk. And then if you're trying to lose weight, let's go with a lower fat or fat-free milk. So I'm just pouring about a cup of milk in here until it gets that pale yellow color. Next and last 4 ingredients. You need some vanilla extract. If you don't have that, totally fine. It'll taste just as good. And that's about a teaspoon. My favorite, ground cinnamon. We're almost out of it, so I'm just gonna use the rest, but about a teaspoon of that also. Nutmeg. And you really don't have to measure too much here. Since I didn't have that much cinnamon, I'm gonna kind of up the nutmeg on that. It's about a teaspoon and a half. Give that a good mix. Last but not least, we are going to use sugar. This is gonna be the only thing I measure out because I don't want it to end up being too sweet. So a 1/4 cup of sugar. All right, that looks and smells delicious. And then we have our bread here in our baking dish. Again, I'll say it again, if you're meal prepping, go ahead and put them in a muffin tin. It's gonna be so easy, it's gonna cook quicker, and you'll be able to just portion control as you need it. And as I'm making this, our oven is coming up to 375 degrees. And depending on the size of your pan, it's gonna take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to bake. So with your milk and egg mixture here, just pour it over the top. And this, you're gonna get your hands dirty in a little bit because you really wanna make sure that every piece is well coated. So now what you wanna do is just push it in there, and you'll be able to see it when you're actually making it. You just gotta push them in there, and you'll see which ones are getting soaked in that egg mixture. So that's perfect. We're gonna cover this with foil. We're gonna bake it for this one's gonna take about 45 minutes. So we're gonna bake it for 20 minutes with the foil on, take the foil off, bake it for the rest of the time, and it's going to be everybody's favorite French toast casserole.